Hello, this is Ashley Dugas, and I will be sharing with you my first assignment for PET 674 Curriculum in Physical Education Lab. So, a brief introduction about myself. I was born and raised in Lake Charles, Louisiana, where I earned my Bachelor of Science from McNeese State University. I'm currently in my 5th year teaching health and phys ed at Ikaki Elementary in Sulphur, Louisiana, where I service approximately 500 students ranging from grades kindergarten through 5th. I do have pre-K at this school, but I do not service them at this time. We are a Title I school with a low socioeconomic status, but we do offer free and reduced breakfast and lunch. The maximum amount of time I see students is twice a week for 45 minutes. The importance of curriculum planning, I found that the structure is how the content will be delivered, so the curriculum model. Scope is how the content will build upon itself, and the sequence, the order in which the content is presented within each unit. This is definitely not an overnight job. It's something that requires careful thought as far as teaching style, methods, and as far as students and your personal student goals. My curriculum experiences actually began after I came back from Morgantown this past summer, where I implemented the sport education model with my 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. And I took a direct quote from the Seed and Top book, which I feel like describes why I chose the sport ed model. I also want to incorporate more cooperative learning, which ties into my ultimate year goal for my students, which I share with them on the first day of school, which is to basically create a foundation, working as a team, communicating with one another. Toward the end of this semester, I want to implement teaching games for understanding, which I'll cover later in the show. So, quick description of models-based practice. There are 3 main principles: the identification of learning outcomes, selection of subject matter, and pedagogical strategies. This is actually in a triangle form, which shows you that one cannot function without the other. There are several advantages of using models-based practice. What I have on the slide here is what I have personally experienced so far with the implementation of sport ed, which is the overall plan and coherent approach that clarifies priorities, provides an instructional theme, allows valid assessment of learning, and promotes teacher decision-making within a known framework. I don't have many curriculum objectives, especially now that I have a good firm grasp on several curriculum models. So my 2 objectives that I'm focusing on as of now are to develop a strong foundation of learning of locomotor, non-locomotor, and manipulative skills associated with sport and game skills, and body management skills to increase the chances of an active lifestyle as an adult for my students. Also, I want my students to develop the ability to increase self-confidence in oneself in terms of leading their peers. So, really want to focus on the skill and non-skill, as well as the self-actualization aspects. So these are the NASB standards and the Louisiana State standards that I feel align with my objectives. As far as the Louisiana State standards are concerned, we have 4. There's a primary cluster, which entails grades pre-K through 2, and elementary 3 through 5, and middle and high. The standards that you're seeing in front of you are the elementary standards for grades 3 through 5. So the organization and sequence of my spring semester, we're going to focus on grades 3 through 5. We covered bus safety when we returned from Christmas break. Then we rolled into jump rope unit, which really was the focus of creating a routine. We just got out of cup stacking, and we're about to jump into our track and field unit, which the students are very excited about. And right after that is where I will be implementing the TGFU for ultimate frisbee and kickball. So here's a quick screenshot of my scope and sequence for the spring semester. I will have the full scope and sequence for the spring semester attached. So how am I going to evaluate this new curriculum? Well, I'm going to use the goal-free evaluation by using the 4 principles that facilitate the evaluation. Identify the relevant effects to examine without referencing goals and objectives. Identify what occurred without the prompting of goals and objectives. Determine if what occurred can logically be attributed to the program or intervention. And determine the degree to which the effects are positive, negative, or neutral. So, my evidence or my data that I will be collecting will come from faculty, students, administration, and parents. At the beginning of the year, my faculty, administration, students, and parents were all given a survey. Parents and students were given a paper survey format. The faculty and administration were given a Google form survey. The unit outcomes are documented in simply a notebook. I document what happened that day, how did it go. So basically a small reflection of the day or the lesson. The only student grades that I can collect are solely participation. I cannot grade on skill. I cannot grade on any paperwork that is turned in to me. So that kind of is a juggling factor. So I actually use their team portfolios as another source of evidence for my goal-free evaluation. And my ultimate goal overall is just to improve the cooperation and teamwork within each class, within each group. So in summary, the 3 big keys I want to accomplish or focus is to develop and implement the curriculum model, and keep in mind that it does take time and patience. The EKKey students will be exposed to the TGFU in addition to the sport ed and cooperative learning models. I'm very thankful that I've had a very good response with the sport ed model, and I really feel that the students are going to have the same response with the TGFU. And finally, the successful evaluation using the goal-free model must comprise of evidence from students, teachers, and administration, as well as parents, in order for me to get a good gauge of how I implemented these models. This is just a list of the references I used within my show. Thank you for your time and have a great day.